Hey everybody, I'm Reggie Williams, the CEO and founder of Ambrosia for Heads, and today I have with me a very special guest, one of the greatest producers of all time, not hip-hop, every single genre. A man who stayed relevant in a fickle music industry for more than 30 years, constantly reinventing himself, working with the greats of the past and the present and the future. A man who's worked with Jay-Z, Nas, Biggie, KRS-One, J. Rue the Damager, Royce 5'9", Big Crit, Rhapsody, Anderson .Paak. I can go on and on and on. Black Thought. But of course, also working with Guru.
No doubt.
As part of the legendary Gang Starr.
Absolutely.
I'm talking about the one and only DJ Premier.
What's up, Reggie?
Preem, how you doing, man?
We go way back, as you know.
We go way back.
We used to be part of our legal team back in the day. Shout out to Mark Levinson. Shout out to Jim Arnay.
Yep.
Shout out to the whole fam. Mark's still my attorney. You were part of our family for a minute. So
Yes, sir.
that's why you get these extra ends to the dungeon, you know.
Exactly. And thank you. So today we're talking about Gang Starr's Moment of Truth.
Yeah.
And the 20th anniversary of that.
Tomorrow, March 30th.
Coming up on March 30th.
Yep.
Incredible album.
Thank you.
I think it's my personal favorite of you guys.
Shirt?
Yeah.
I had to do that.
Yeah. So Guru started out, he said, what we do, we update our formulas.
Mm-hmm.
We have certain formulas, we update them at times.
Yep.
What was the Gang Starr formula?
When it came to albums, it was make a list of all the titles of the songs, and then I make the tracks match the titles. So that was always our way. Not on the first album with No More Mr. Nice Guy, because we were still learning. I was still learning how to even just make beats to a level of I guess expertise, so to speak. I still didn't know what I was doing. The first album, we all were pushing the SB 1200 together. Mm-hmm. Me, our engineer Shlomo Sonnenfeld, and Guru. We'd be lined up, and I'd be like, "You hit that one, okay, and you hit that one, okay, ready, go." You know, and that's how the first album was really done. So by stepping the arena, I started doing everything on my own to master, programming beats and all that. And next thing you know, I got just better and better at it just from messing with it a lot, And I knew what I wanted to interpret.
Right.
So by the time we got to Moment of Truth, which was also the longest gap we took, because No More Mr. Nice Guy, Step in the Arena, Daily Operation, and Hard to Earn came out 1 year. Every year we dropped an album. Then we took a 4-year break of no album. Mm-hmm. I started doing more production. He did Jasmine Taz, and then we got back together to do Moment of Truth. So that's always been the formula.
So you talk about, so how did you update it from Moment of Truth?
Same way, just music changes, the styles change, and we keep up with everybody, Yeah. I'm always wondering, like, does the new generation know about us? Because we study them. We know all the hot records that's on the radio right now. And that doesn't mean they have to know us, but they should. Yeah. So we keep up.
You talked about that 4-year break. During that time, you worked with Jay and Nas and Biggie. You did a whole album with Group Home, KRS. How did that inform your production style? How did it change things for Gang Starr?
The only difference is I always tailor the music to the artist. So any of them, same thing. I do it with them in mind. And it doesn't. I've even heard old rumors that, that people that didn't really know us were like, "Oh man, sometimes he was giving, some Gang Starr beats to these artists." Like, nah, why would I do that when I'm in the group?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna be on the album cover with my partner and we got the weakest shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And Jay and Nas, them got the bangers. Yeah. They got bangers. Everybody gets bangers. Paula Perry got a banger. Aguilar got a banger.
Yeah.
So. So it didn't really matter. Limp Bizkit got a banger.
Yep.
Gang Starr always got bangers. Yeah. If I'm gonna be on that cover with them, on stage with them, and in them videos, we gotta have hot ones, and we do. So I never would do that. That's not even my MO of people that know me. So I used to see all the with this whole social media world. You see the craziest stories. You're just like, you wasn't there. I don't know you, and. Like that does that even add up? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We were never broke. And we weren't even platinum. We didn't go platinum till Moment of Truth. I mean, we didn't go gold till Moment of Truth. Yeah. So all of our other albums never went gold. Yeah, except for Full Clip, which was our greatest hits. And other than that, we were always, successful financially and within the entertainment world of like he said, popularity versus sales. Our popularity, we had platinum respect.
Yeah.
You would think we were platinum artists that sold millions, but we weren't even on that radar, and we still had that same respect from the highest level of artists that were getting that kind of money, success, and all the extra glory.
So when you came back with Moment of Truth, like hip hop had changed a lot in the 6 months before that. You had Bad Boy and No Limit,
Right.
very kind of mainstream kind of pop friendly radio. You guys didn't do that at all. You came back with that straight hard boom bap New York
Right.
sound, but it's still connected and was your most commercially successful album. Why do you think that was?
Just sticking to the formula of what works for us. Where we even if we listen to, like, we love Bad Boy. We won't make that style of record, but I mean, what Puff has done has been one of the most amazing things to our culture. You know what I'm saying? So I just didn't want to make that style of record. Especially the ones where you take just a familiar sample and just loop it and either sing or rap over it. That just wasn't the direction that we come from as far as my production style. So I never went that route. If it worked for them, which it did, do it. It's just I'm gonna still stick to again. Some people drive Corvettes. I drive the fastest car. I can make a car go, 100 miles distance on 1 gallon of gas.
Right.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So you said your first words on the album were the real hip hop. What was the state of hip hop for you at the time when you came back?
More watered down. Radio had changed because when like Hot 97 was our station, our go-to, it was Boot Camp Click. Anybody Boot Camp. It could be Smith & Wesson, Black Moon, Helter Skelter. It was regular rotation. Gang Starr, regular rotation. Tribe, regular rotation. KRS, regular rotation. Daylight, regular rotation. Woo, King Just, Warriors Drum, regular rotation. It was that much of a normalcy to hearing on the radio, and then when it started to kind of get less and less of what we were used to hearing, we're like, "Yo, what the hell's going on? Somebody pulled the plug, and how did we not notice it being pulled out? Nobody was watching the guy standing by the wall where the plug is. They can't get out, and it's like we just didn't see it, and it just got worse and worse and worse and worse, and we were just like, "Yo, man." So that's when I started to complain because it's like I said, it's like enjoying the ride, and then when you come outside, your car's stolen. It's like, yo, where's my fucking car?
Yeah.
That's pretty much the feeling that we had. So from there, I just say, we love how we do it. We understand the cloth that came before us. We represent that cloth. Let's just keep on rocking it the way we do.
So at the time, who were you competing with? Like, who motivated you? Not necessarily that, but they challenged you and made you want to be greater. Was there anybody?
Just any and everything that we liked. If we were buying it, even the stuff that we didn't like, motivates you because it's like, yo, don't do that. Do it this way. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's I guess it's just like people wearing clothes. You'd be like, yo, I would never rock those shoes, but if they look good on you and you like the way they rock, then rock them. I'll never wear them. You know what I'm saying? Like that. It's really the same thing. It's just a different approach when it comes to music. And then again, I was here before rap, so I got to see it from the very beginning stages and understanding with the concept of what made it work and create this whole new profession. KRS said that. He said, man, now, he said, back in the days, you go to college and you graduate to get a job to do whatever you deal with. He said, now rap is also a profession.
Yeah.
Where you have a lot of people living off of rap professions more than the ones that did graduate. And they never knock anything from college because I loved college. It was fun when I went. Even though I missed a lot of classes, it was still a dope experience. I think it was just really, really fun going to college. Just all the extra people we met from other towns, other cities. Thank goodness through college I met Gordon Franklin and Gary Franklin, who were brothers, who were from Brooklyn. And through them, I was able to stay with their family.
That's how you got to.
And that's how I got to, cause my grandfather lived we were coming to New York a lot anyway, cause my mom's from Baltimore, father's from South Carolina. We used to always spend a lot of summers in New York staying with my grandfather. So I was already familiar with New York as a youngster, all the way up to my teenage years. But once you kind of get past that, and my grandfather was getting older and started getting sick, We used to go to games together. He just take me always to Times Square, because I was the only boy in my family. I have all sisters that are older than me. So during that whole time, once he passed, I didn't have that go-to.
Yeah.
Except for one other friend of mine whose grandmother lived in our neighborhood in Texas. So I would hang out with him. But when it came to walking the whole distance to get my record deal prior to signing with Gang Starr, the Franklin family took me in. So I'm always grateful to them. Always.
So that's interesting because neither you nor Guru was from New York.
No.
But y'all rep, like, there are very few artists who represent New York more than you guys do.
Well, I mean,
you talked about it in New York,
Yeah. So at that time, everybody was following the map of New York, L.A., you name it. Everybody was following that map. Mm-hmm. You had to.
Yeah.
What other guy would you have to even know how to do it right?
Yeah.
And then as it got broader and broader, everybody started saying, well, we got, when they started being kind of, discriminated against to a T. If you ain't from New York, you ain't popping, we're not listening to your music. People started saying, well, we're going to form our own group, our own style, and this is how we do it here. Yeah. And it still took elements from New York, but not to the degree of how, it sounds now, where you have the Dirty South sound, you have the now they want to call it trap, It's either dope or it's not.
Yeah.
That's still my motto.
Well, y'all repped it so hard, you had the MTA cards that were advertising the album.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Metro card, yeah.
Whose idea was that? You remember?
No, our team that we had just moved to Virgin. We were all affiliated. We went from Chrysalis to EMI to Virgin. When we moved to Virgin, which was through New Tribe, was the division label that Virgin distributed. Our staff was just dope, man. I mean, they did all the Rap-A-Lot stuff. They did all the Loonies, and they did our album. Mm-hmm. So to have that same team, and we had Aaliyah, she was popping at the time too. Janet Jackson was popping. Our team was just so well put together, and they made everything work so flawlessly. So that's why both of those albums, that and Full Clip, just moved the way we brought the vision. We always brought the vision to the label, and that's the one thing I'll say. Even in the EMI Chrysalis days, we brought the vision of how we wanted our singles to go, what order, and they never turned that down. They were always cool with that. Up until our last album, the owners, the new regime, new staff, they totally weren't in sync with us, and that's when the tension really started. And Guru was like, I don't want to record for them no more. And then our whole team was gone. Yeah. They had been fired from the Mariah fiasco and all that stuff, so that just completely had them, say everybody out, and we didn't have that team anymore.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was the team we had, man. They totally understood it. They totally followed it, and everything was just in place, intro to outro.
And it must have been amazing to have something that was so central to New York, because everybody rode the train, especially then.
Yeah.
Having your faces on it. What was that?
Well, the Metro card was actually made for the royalty video. For the royalty video with Casey and JoJo.
Okay.
Because Ron Hightower, who's one of the biggest porn stars in adult films, directed it.
I wouldn't know.
Well, I know. I ain't ashamed of that. I know my adult film stuff from way back. One of my homies' father used to have all the tapes, and when he'd leave to go to work, we'd be like, yo, put the projector on. This is when he used to thread it in a projector. We go back that far. I'm 52, so I'm way before a DVD. I remember when they announced a CD was coming out. I was like, the compact disc. We're like, can you scratch on that? What you can now with CDJs, but way prior to that, it was like, can you scratch on that thing? They were like, it's gonna take out vinyl. We were like, no, don't take the vinyl away. And we fought for our stuff to still be on vinyl, and they let us press vinyl. And if you ever see, vinyl is definitely still a major part of sales to this very day, aside from hip-hop genre. But I always think hip-hop kept it alive because the DJ still wanted to rub the record.
So you mentioned royalty. That was the first time you guys had like a R&B hook on a record.
Yeah.
But it still sounded like very hip-hop. It wasn't like,
Give Casey and JoJo all the credit for that. And when we spoke to them on the phone, they said, do not make an R&B track for us to sing to, because we do that on our albums. He said, make a Gang Starr track and we'll write to your track. And I was like, which I was gonna do anyway.
Yeah.
But that's dope that they specified that before I even turned the drum machine on. Make a Gang Starr track, not an R&B track. And it wasn't an R&B track. It was just sound like a Gang Starr track. And they did their thing.
So did you make it with them? Did you, whose idea was it to work with them?
Guru.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Why did he want to work with them?
We were just at a point now where we were like, the doing that is not going to kill us or make our crowd be against us. The record just has to be done right. There's a lot of records that you can do. I can do a trap record, but I got to make a good one. If I don't make one that's not going to bang with that crowd that likes all the ones that's out there, it's going to be a big miss because it's going to be like, you made an attempt to pop off with what's going on with today's sound, and you did a horrible version of it. I'm going to make sure it's catchy. I'm going to make sure they're singing the lyrics. I'm going to make sure they're going to definitely bang my version. So that's my same approach when we do our boom bap, quote unquote, style of approach. So with Casey and JoJo, I already knew, like, we make a good version of it. Our fans ain't going to be like, man, why you put the R&B motherfuckers on there? They'll be cool.
At the end of that record, you made a pretty passionate statement about things like sample snitching.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel about that now, 20 years later, when basically there are no secrets on the internet anymore?
I mean, at that time, I was a lot more naive, because I clear samples now. Not like crazy, but I also still know how to approach it based off of what the sample laws are. If it's to a degree where it's just an obvious chunk of it that's going to be either noticed by the sample police and snitches that we talked about, I'm going to go ahead and clear it.
Yeah.
I don't even have a problem going that route because the ones that we've cleared in this last 3 years, the rates have been decent. They weren't like, oh man, I can't afford to pay that. They were good numbers. Some of them were like, we'll give it to you just and let you license it. Just give us our publishing side, and how about using us again on something else? I'm like, yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
So nowadays it's starting to be a lot more cooler because it does take care of them. It does feed them.
Yeah.
And give them royalty checks. And a lot of these records don't get the play that it got back then until we brought it back.
Yeah.
Which is why we miss those sounds. Those sounds started to get too computerized and too not as pure and funky and dirty and dusty as it was in the 70s, where that was what I was used to hearing as a child.
Yeah.
And rap and hip hop started from that era of sound, so why take that sound away?
So even beyond the legalities of it, the culture shifted, right? Because it used to be that DJs would cover up their records, and
yeah, I got a lot of records.
How do you feel about that? Because that was part of the sauce you dug, and you got rewarded by digging harder.
Rest in
and
peace to DJ AM, man.
Yeah.
He created the AM feature on Serato, where when you go to the tap part where the tempo is, type AM, and everything disappears.
Oh wow, yeah.
People will come over to your DJ booth and watch your Serato and go, and it's like, I don't want you know what that is.
Yeah.
Hit AM, it disappears. Look around, wait till they disappear. Hit AM, it reappears.
Yeah.
So I do that quite often still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before this album dropped, y'all were, Google was talking in a 1997 interview about how people kind of had you guys in that jazz rap box. Did you purposefully come out, trying to make this album sound different?
Hard to Earn was when I wanted to make it sound different, because even that, with Jazz Mataz, Guru said that will protect Gang Starr from being labeled as that, because if we're a jazz rap group, then that means every song's going to be about jazz. The first song might be The Horn is Live. Yeah, the horn is live, and we going no jive,
Yeah.
Next one might be like jazz it up. We're gonna talk about jazzing it up. Next one might be a jazzy mellow mood, and we're gonna try to rap about that.
Yeah.
Next one might be jazz party. Next one might be jazz honey bunny. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference. Where it's like, no, I was using jazz samples because a lot of people weren't, and they weren't a lot of vocals. So we could find naked spots to put dope drums around it and flip it. That was the approach. I was like, damn, no one's touching this stuff. I did it simply for that. And with respect to jazz, because it's in my family. And then on top of that, I love jazz just when I'm cooling out. I mean, I've been playing jazz just as a fan.
Yeah.
But also in the sampling element of hip hop, I was like, well, a lot of people ain't doing this. Everybody's on James and all the soul funk records, and they've been, we call it raped in our language. Oh, they raped that already. Oh, they don't rape that digging store. There's nothing in there no more. Same thing with this. And we were like, yo, everything's been raped, but no one's touching jazz. As I started to develop, all of a sudden everybody started digging into those. And finding so many ill ways of flipping things. So that was a nice era.
Yeah.
But I just didn't like that they were calling us jazz rap, because again, jazz rap means rapping about jazz. So hard to earn. I said I'm stripping everything down to show that I can do any sound and still have that head nod that I'm known for.
Yeah.
So that's why I started going into little space sounds and pretty much just weird left sounds with hardly any music, just to show, yo, this is how I do it when you think that we are just this one type of style.
Now flip it up. So, I mean, even on this album, there's a lot of diversity. On My Steez, you came out, that was a statement record. You know, putting the industry on notice. And right after that, Robin, y'all came and were kind of kicking the truth to the youth. Did you deliberately set those up next to each other just to show people what your range was going to be on the album?
Every album, we want to always, leave a jewel in it. I mean, that's just key. We're all about happiness and a better world. So, and he speaks for me too, because I don't rap. So, so for him to spit the lyrics, I want it to be something I can also stand behind and say, yeah, I'm with you on that. I've had people approach me, yo, what did Guru mean when he said such and such and such? And I was like, nah, this is what he meant. He meant this. I'm not like, oh, you gotta talk to him. I don't know. I was like, nah, this is what he meant. I should be able to explain his lyrics. So, yeah.
Well, speaking of explaining his lyrics, on My Steez, he says, subtracting all the rappers who lack over Premier's tracks.
Some people took that the wrong way.
I was going to say.
Some people thought he was dissing, like, subtracting all y'all that's over Premier's tracks beside me. He's saying, I'm doing that over Premier's tracks. You know what I'm saying?
They left the comma out.
Yeah. But it's to stop subtracting all the rappers who lack over Premier's tracks.
Right.
So some people would take that like, oh yeah, he's throwing a dart at all the other artists that he's produced. We don't even throw darts like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, J. Rue the Damager is proof of that. We will say your name.
Yeah.
And when we did One Day, we weren't afraid.
Yeah.
And we didn't do it to start any shit either. It was how we felt at the time, and we kept it funky.
Yeah.
And we weren't afraid.
So you have been at D&D Studios for a few years at this
Since
point.
1992.
Yeah. So
Shout out to Dave and Doug, which is D&D.
Yeah. And it wasn't a glamorous, super high-end studio. It was. What was the vibe like there for you?
Do that just to get it to certain the seriously, just to get certain things to play.
Yeah.
And
this is
the tape machine.
This is the board that was there.
Nah, this is a digital board.
Okay.
This is a DigiDesign Control 24, and it's beat up. We just know how to work it. Like if some of my faders are stuck, and if you touch it, it'll drop down. But we just know it. All me and my engineers, King of Chill and Parks, we know what we're doing. So it needs a tune up, but we know how to make it work.
So what was the vibe like in the studio back then?
It was like a hangout.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody was there at the pool table. We used to shoot dice all the time. Like for thousands of dollars. You know, shoot dice all the time. I mean, I remember even when later on in the years, Beanie Siegel and Oskino and all them was there. And rolling dice was Jay-Z being there. The Beat Miners were always there with Black Moon or Smith & Wesson or Helter Skelter. One of them would always be in there. It was just a circular thing with us being in the same spot all the time. Back in the Reasonable Doubt era, into Volume 1 of In My Lifetime.
Yeah.
Around Hard Knock Life, he was still coming through, but not as much. But he would do a few. He would do the songs with me there. But still, that was a big era of Jay's career being the D&D. Funkmaster Flex would come in at 2 a.m. to start session. He was the first one. I was like, damn, you come in at 2? Like your start time is at 2 a.m.? Yeah. Because he had the DJ clubs and do the radio. So by the time he was ready to do sessions, he had to come in at that time. So it was just a family thing, man. It was normal just to be a D&D. There were a lot of rappers that were scared to and known rappers that were scared to come there.
Yeah.
I remember Heavy D, rest in peace, great brother, man. Heavy D was like, yo, can we not work here when we do the rest of this? Because it was a heroin block then, so it was heroin addicts everywhere, just floating around, needles and crack vials and all that. No lights.
Just below Times
And no
Square.
lights. So when you go down 37th Street and no lights, Hell's Kitchen area and all that stuff, it was grimy.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that's when we all packed guns, you know, back then. You know, so those are good old gun days.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, you know, Guru was always really honest in his songs, you know.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like for you guys going through that gun charge with him?
That was hectic because he got another charge aside from that after the gun incident, and it was just a careless thing, man. I mean, he literally left the lab probably 6 in the morning, had it in his briefcase, had a early flight to catch. So he just went home to grab his suitcase and just run back to the airport. So he's not thinking, oh, let me make sure I clean up my bag. You know, he's just tired, late night, get on the plane and do your carry-on. And when it went through it and scanned it, you know, he totally wasn't even thinking like, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't like he planned to bring it. He just totally forgot from just being so tired.
Yeah. How did that affect you guys in the creative process?
Well, he had another trial coming up that followed that one, and because of it, he was facing a 5-year bid. So he had to go to trial. His parents were there all the time. I was there. Maybe a quarter way into the album, I left the group, and we were having too much tension over his drinking and everything. I had been used to drinking through our whole life together, but once it got to that year, it was just way out of control. I was just like, yo, I'm out, man. So we were a quarter way into the album. We did one verse of Moment of Truth, the song, but not the one where he said how he's scared that things might go bad and all that stuff. Maybe just 2 weeks passed. The homie Gordon was like, yo, man, come on. You know, let it go. And me and him talked, and it was right back to I love you, brother.
Yeah.
Let's go hang out.
Yeah.
You know, your guru like to hang out. I'm sure you've heard the stories. He is the king. The king of hanging out. The king. A lot of people hang out and party like rock stars. Yeah. He's one of them. 100%. All of us were, really. You know, our house was definitely known as the party house all the time. So once we made up and everything was good, I went to the whole trial. I was there through the very end, all the way to the not guilty verdict. And not only that, the attorney that was defending him was like, yo, if he goes to jail, the album's going to pretty much be coming out around the same time. So you need to start planning on how you're going to promote it. If he you know, if he's found guilty, they're either going to take him right now or give him a certain time to turn himself in. But we won't know that until then. So we got back to recording, and he was like, yo, I want you to title the album, because he always titled our albums. I titled Hard to Earn, and he wanted me to title this one. I figured Moment of Truth is the right one because of what's going on, because if he does lose, they said the Moment of Truth is going to be that answer in court. So he was with it, and then when it came to coming up with the album cover idea, I said it should be in the courthouse. That way it matches what's really going on, it will win or lose.
Yeah.
Even if he wins, it was still a real court situation. And got the ideas together. Danny Hastings had already done the Hard to Earn cover. He had already done Sunrise in the East with Jay Ruse, so we stuck with him, and he did a dope cover with us. And then I loved it when Guru was sitting in the jury box by himself, and he's just sitting there just contemplating like this. Dope picture. That's one of the dopest pictures ever, with him by himself. Yeah. You know, because that was a real situation. And
now, were you having your own moment of truth like experiences during this too, or?
Yeah, with, Mary Coleman, man, this is my accountant. She passed away. She passed maybe a day after we shot the You Know My Steez video in New York. We had shot it in LA because for production value, and plus we remade that movie THX. So with the with the whole Big Brother thing and all those not monsters, what do they call them?
Like robot types.
Yeah, the robot types.
Yeah.
To take control of us and all that. So we reenacted that movie. And then I still wanted to get some regular, just plain New York footage. I wanted to get Chuck D in it because of when he said you're in the Terror Dome, like my man Chuck D says, Chuck came down to the video. I wanted DOS effects because I'm cutting the hip hop from real hip hop that I produced on their album. So they came. I wanted Flavor Flav when I cut the To the Beat, y'all. Flav came, so that's why they were in it. And then all our homies came, which they're always with us in our video shoots. So we shot that up by Randall's Island. And then my accountant, I had been calling her from the day. I saw her the day before we went to California to shoot, and she wasn't answering the phone, so I was worried because she was not breathing properly when I saw her at home. She was laying on the couch. She had just come home from she had cancer, but it had just completely taken over her whole body. And then when we got back and shot the New York footage, she was still not answering the phone. I called one of her tenants because she owns her own brownstone. They were like, yeah, she went back to the hospital. She had already told me what to ask, what name to use. Cause she said, always use my maiden name if I'm ever in at a doctor's office. Don't use my real name. Cool. Told them I was looking for her. They asked what my relationship was. And I was like, I'm her son. They were like, hold on a second. Pass me to another person. Yes, may I help you? Yeah, I'm looking for XYZ. What's your relationship with him? My son. Like, what's going on? Yeah. Pass me around. They happened like six different people. Then back to the first person that said, what's your relationship? I'm like, yo, what the hell's going on? Why y'all keep passing me all these people? And they were like, yo, she just passed a couple hours ago. Man. Yeah. Totally messed my day up. Yeah. And we were 2 songs short of finishing the album. We were waiting for Scarface to send us his vocal to Betrayal. And we were worried that if it didn't come in time, we're just not going to get it on there because he was part of the project and he already said he was going to make it happen. So we're that close to the deadline because we don't want to miss the release. And then we were 1 song shot from the list. We didn't have a title, but we just said, untitled, but we already have it counted out how we want it. I was so depressed that Guru was like, yo, man, just come in and just make whatever. I'm like, yeah, but I can't even focus. He's like, yeah, you can. Just think about Mary, whatever. I was in the mood. I don't cry in front of people. I cry by myself, if anything. So was in my little crying mood. No one's in there. Guru's in the other room just, chilling, watch TV or whatever in the lounge. I heard that Monk Higgins. I cleared it, so I can say what it is.
You can snitch on yourself, yeah.
It was from Sheba Baby, which I'm a big blaxploitation fan because in the '70s, my parents was like, "Yo, we're going to see Superfly today," and "Yo, we're going to see Claudine today. We're going to see Blackula." That was a normal thing for at least in my era. Black families would go see black movies. Yeah. And Sheba Baby was one of them. Yeah. So the Monk Higgins sample that we use, just the way it sounds, it just sounds like somebody's crying. The part that I where it does the change up, and it just sounds like somebody's crying. So I say, you know what? Let me just make this beat and see what happens. Guru walked in when I was playing it and was like, "Yo, I like that. I already got a title for it. I'm gonna call it Next Time." Okay. And I was like, "Okay." He said, "Nah, I got it. Lay it down." He laid it down. He cut the vocal. And I love that song. I love what he said. I love when he said the underground is where I dwell at, is where I find my heaven and where you find your hell at. That's how we feel all the time. So he bodied that. So that completed that. Next day or two, we had to go to mastering, and Scarface sent us the vocal. And we
so Mike Dean recorded that?
Was Face's vocal? Maybe he did. I would have to ask Face.
So I know most of the time you like to be in the booth and actually be in the room and record it with the artist. What was that like, not being able to do that with such a prominent guest on the album? Like, how was that weird for you?
As long as it's dope, we ain't tripping. Just give it to us dope. Because if it's not that banging, now you gotta sit there and go, damn, I gotta tell them, can you do it again? And how long is it gonna take for them to go back in? Yeah. Nowadays you can just pull up a Pro Tools session, boom, do it. Email is done. Yeah. We were sending FedEx. That's do it, pack it up, box it up, send it, and get it to us. And we're waiting. We're sitting there like, has the mail come yet? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So shipping reels and things is heavy.
So you get that package, you press play. What were your thoughts when you heard his vocals?
He sent the ref so we could hear how he did it to the beat, so that we could line it up the right way. And we were just like, man, we already knew he was gonna kill us. Yeah. That's Brad, man. Like, you ain't getting no whack verse from him.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
You're not getting no whack verse from him.
Yeah.
He's going to put it down.
Yeah.
I like to say in Texas, put it down.
So him and Guru had totally different styles, though. So how did you make a track that got so much from both of them?
Because Guru said that I wanted to be slow, and he already said I wanted to be called Betrayal, because Scarface knows how to talk about stuff like that. You know, the Ghetto Boys music and his solo stuff speaks of all that type of stuff: deceit, lies, betrayal, you know, backstabbers, and how to you know, keep it hood and watch your back. So I told you, the creative process, I never go in going, damn, what am I gonna do? Never. I go in like a fan that won a contest. It's like, you get to make a record with Gang Starr. What are you gonna make? I'm like, where's the equipment? Show me how to work it. That's how you do it? Okay, now how do you make it do that? Okay, that's how you do it. Now how can you make it? Can you make it do this? Got it. Okay, move. Now, that's how I am.
Yeah.
I was like, show me how to work that stuff, and I guarantee you I can do the same thing in my own interpretation and make some noise. So I do it with a fan perspective, and I do it as a DJ perspective. I think a DJ here, a true DJ, street DJs, we're different from radio DJs.
Yeah.
And we're different from club DJs. Street DJs can do any. You know, I can do underground, and then I can do a turn up party, and you know, where everybody's saying pull up, whatever.
Yeah.
It gets lit. You know, if that's the new slang today, I'm right there with it. I know when to drop the fader, because I know the part everybody wants to sing that big line. You know, I know every Cardi B record. You know what I'm saying? I know all of them. I know them by heart.
Yeah.
But then I can play an Apathy record or a Crime Apple record and lace those two when I'm on the wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you and Guru lived together early in your career.
We lived together from No More Mr. Nice Guy till Hard to Earn.
So, you know, you go from spending almost all your time together to having a 4-year gap where you spend a lot less. How did that affect your chemistry? Or did it affect your chemistry?
No. Every time we rejoined, it was right back. It was, like I said, pause button. That life pauses. We're ready to do another album. Give us our advance. Which they would do. They didn't control our money. They would be like, yo, here's your advance. Bring us back a dope album.
Yeah.
So we regulated everything ourselves.
Yeah.
As soon as we got back together, on pause, back to jamming.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was never difficult.
So Scarface was an unexpected vocalist on a Gang Starr album at the time, but even more so was some of the remixes. You know my Steez.
With Corrupt and Rage.
And Rage. And then,
we all cool with them too, so.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
And
I was cool
said,
with I knew Suge Knight from '89. When Cube just left NWA, Suge was still with DOC, and we did a show. Master Ace had just joined our management team, so my manager at that time, Patrick Moxie, who started Payday, was like, yo, man, he started Ultra Records, you know, which is doing really well with his dance label. He was like, yo, take Master Ace with you. I'll cover the expense, take him out there with you. And Dub C and the Mad Circle opened up, who we were friends with already anyway, from the New Music Seminar days. And we were cool with Coolio, who was in the Mad Circle at that time before he was a solo artist. MC8 was there. That's the first time I met MC8. That's how we connected. And JJ Fad, Ren, they were all there. Just like the picture with Eazy-E, that's at a Gang Starr party in New York for No More Mr. Nice Guy. So we've all just been affiliated and cool. So that's how far back we go before Death Row even really took off, to where by the time they were popping, I could go down there and visit, and Suge and everybody already knows who I am. You know.
So this was your first album after Biggie and Tupac had died, and you had people from the Death Row camp. You had Casey and JoJo, who had been affiliated with Puffy. Was that like intentional? Were you trying to show people that it could be all good again, or would just
nah? Those issues that they were having should have stayed internal, and sometimes you just gotta stay out of it and just let things go how they go. But the one thing we didn't do is say, well, we're just sticking with East Coast and not gonna be cool with the West because we represent the East Coast. Nah. And even that, it wasn't like none of us was safe when we went out there, and it wasn't like none of them were safe when they came out here. That tension was just amongst that little circle, and the things that really fueled it, honestly, was media and just outsiders who really weren't the ones that needed to even get involved.
Yeah.
You know, it really shouldn't have escalated to that level, but it did.
Yeah. So Guru mentioned one of the guests that was going to be on the You Must Steez remix was Busta Rhymes.
Right.
Did that verse ever get recorded?
No, we never got the Busta verse.
Yeah.
Busta!
It's not too late, right?
Yeah, I mean, it can always pull that reel back up.
Yeah. Yeah. So you talked about some of your videos. Royalty really showed a lot of the kind of everyday places in New York.
Right.
That was at a time where videos were going super flossy, people on yachts and stuff like that. Why did you guys decide to take it in a different direction?
That's Ron, man. Like I said, he was one of the. He was a porno star and also a director with a vision that brought that. He brought that whole vision to us, and so we were like, "Yo, let's get it." And it was Super Bowl Sunday, so we were watching the Super Bowl on the jumbotron in Times Square. That's why when we're outside and Tretch and them just happened to be walking by, like, "Yo, is that Gang Starr shooting a video?" And that's how they ended up in it. They just came across the street. They were leaving from either a video shoot of their own or somebody else's, and they just saw us because, again, Times Square was nuts for the Super Bowl. And that's when the Green Bay Packers played, and my brother-in-law's brother, Johnny Holland, was playing on the Packers, so we were rooting for them, and they won. You know, that's when Brett Favre was still young, and my brother-in-law, shout to Johnny Holland, man, you know, and shout to my brother-in-law, Jake Collins, so, and my sister Deb. So, so I've known Johnny since high school, and then he went to Texas A&M, where he was a quarterback. He started off as a star quarterback in high school. They switched him from quarterback to a linebacker. And next thing you know, he's in the Packer Hall of Fame.
Wow. So Above the Clouds, you had Inspectah Deck, and that song sounds like, the sample sounds like it could have been like from a Kung Fu movie or something like that. Did you do that with somebody from Wu-Tang in mind, and how did you choose Deck out of all the Wu-Tang guys?
Got to give credit to Panchi from the NYGs. That's an extended part of our Gang Starr Foundation family. I met him when I moved to the 183rd in the Bronx. We call it the 3rd if you're really from there. I'm definitely, that's where I moved from East New York, Brooklyn to the 3rd, because Guru was going out with a girl that had a studio apartment, and she was about to break out for like almost a year, something like that, maybe 6-7 months, round it off to a year. And she was like, "Yo, if y'all want my apartment, you can sublease it and just give me the rent, and I'll, y'all can stay there." So me, our dancer H.L. Rock, who drove up from Texas with me to start our career from day one, the three of us lived together in a studio. It wasn't even. It probably was maybe this big, maybe it may have been smaller than this room, with bathroom, one little itty bitty closet, and a little ass kitchen. Guru used to cook all the food for us. I remember one time he made a whole giant thing of spaghetti for us. We were all ready to eat, and then he accidentally bumps it and it falls all over the floor. And we had mad mice and stuff, and mice was like, "Oh, I'm about to eat this." It was where we used to sleep. We slept on, me and HL slept on the floor in sleeping bags. Guru had a big bed that took up damn near all the space. My turntables and my big jumbo speakers took up the rest, and then the rest was all my records and boxes. Right. So that was, we were, it's not that much area to move, and you hear the mice going, squeak, squeak, climbing over us. It was not even where you jump up and go, "Oh, there's a mouse." It's like, "Oh man, just leave me alone." Yeah. And they hop over and go into the wall, So we come from that. Yeah.
The militia, it sounded almost like that was a setup for like a group. Did you guys ever think about, like, was there ever any plan to do like a full project with Freddie Fox and Big Shug?
And to rewind real quick with Inspectah Deck before we talk about militia. It was just dope how they went at it, because Panchi was in prison at the time, and he called just on a check-in, and he was like, "Yo, so how's the album coming?" We was telling him about it, and Guru at the time wanted to get Ghost or Ray, and we knew Meth was too big. He was like Meth was the biggest thing in Wu, and we were like Ray or Ghost, but Purple Tape was really that made them notch up on a whole different level. And Pants was like, yo, Deck is that slept-on underdog that's just as deadly when it comes to the verbals, you know. So we were like, yeah, that does make sense. So we reached out to Deck, and he was with it. We reached out to RZA. RZA, you know, at that time was over everything. He cleared it, said it was all good. We handled the BI. Next thing you know, Deck said, I want to talk to Guru because I want to know what the song's about so I can formulate how I'm going to write. So I got him on three-way call, and Deck goes, so what's the song about? He said, what's it called, Above the Clouds? He said, yeah. He said, so what's it about? And Guru goes, you're mental. And he goes, that's it? He goes, yeah, you're mental. He goes, got it, I'll see y'all tonight. Not like, you're mental, can you elaborate more? He already knew. It's your mental, got it. Comes that night like 8 o'clock. See this board, this ain't the one, but it's similar to that board. Deck was on this end, facing that way. Guru's on this end, facing his way. We're doing this. Looking up at each other like in school. You know, you be there looking at somebody's paper. They're doing this. He's like, oh, how much you got? He's like, about halfway. He goes, me too. Back at it. And I got the beat just running. And now me, I'm like, I want to do a dope intro before the beat drops. So I'm sitting in front of them, probably where he's sitting with the camera with my headphones on, looking for things to intro the beat before it starts while they're writing. Every now and then I just check and see how they're coming. All of a sudden they look up again, how much you got? He's like, I'm almost done. He said, me too. Back to this. And all of a sudden he's like, yo, I'm finished. He goes, me too. And they're like, who's going first? Guru's like, I'm going first. Cut that vocal. We already knew Deck was going to come with a killer verse. And there it was.
So one night, all in one night?
Oh, yeah.
That's
all
crazy.
one night.
Yeah.
Because we weren't used to having guests unless it was our family. J. Rue, Dap, Malachi, Suge. That was really our only guests. You know, it expanded later on to Smiley, the Ghetto Child, or NYG's, with Shabino and Pants, and then H Stacks from Forbidden.
Yeah.
They used to be called Forbidden Fruit, but then it just went to Forbid, F-A-B-I-D, which stood for Family, Art, Brother, Integrity, and Devotion. And shout out to Mike Rohn, his DJ and producer as well. So, and then M.O.P. and Bumpy became well, he was Freddie Fox at that time before Bumpy Knuckles is, later, but we added them to extended family of Gang Starr Foundation, where we had said y'all are that too. Crumb Snatcher, you're that too, just on and on, adding more people. But obviously the core will always be Jerry the Damager, Suge, and Group Home,
And so you have been thinking about doing the militia project?
Yeah, we thought about doing a militia project, it just never materialized time-wise.
Yeah.
It was just a timing thing, but that would have been dope. Almost like the Murder Inc. thing with Jay, Ja Rule, and X.
Because it sounded almost like it was a sneak preview of something else was coming.
Yeah, that's why we said let's continue the militia thing.
Yeah.
When we did Capture and the remix. With Rakim and Dub C.
So how did that come about? Because
that was actually a weird situation, man. Because the original version was with Meth, and Meth was there. Me, Dub C, Meth, Guru. We're working on the remix, and then we got a call from RZA that he can't do the remix. I apologize for interrupting this, but he can't do it. I got your deck, but this can't happen right now. We're pissed about it, but we're way past that now. We're all cool. RZA, that's the homie. We were cool with him before. We were with him when he told us. He was at our house and told us back in '92, maybe going into '93, that he was going to create the Wu-Tang Clan. Like, he told us he was going to do this.
Wow,
this is when he was on Tommy Boy as Prince Rakim. He said, I'm going to create a crew of like 7, 8, 9 dudes, and we're going to be called the Wu-Tang Clan, and I'm going to put it together.
Did that sound crazy to you when he was talking
No,
to you?
No, because everybody was so creative and different during that era anyway. You know what I'm saying? We were all different. Nobody sounded alike. Everybody was different. You had a De La, but then you have Stetsasonic, then you had Onyx, and you had Gang Starr, you had Tribe, you had KRS, BDP, you had Eric B. and Rakim. Everything, EPMD, everything was just so different. Super Lover C, Casanova Rudd. Nobody sounded alike. You could buy all 15, 20 albums all at once. MC Light, and none of them sounded the same.
Mm-hmm.
And they could all be released on the same day. Cool G Rap and Polo, MC Shan, Kane, LL, on and on, Ice Cube.
Yeah.
So PE, nothing sounded the same.
So you had Rakim on the remix. I'm sure you don't know this.
After Meth couldn't do it, I was mad.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, who could top Meth? Because Meth is that deal. He still is. I love Meth. And again, we got over it quick. I was just like, damn, man. And Dub was feeling a certain way too. Like, yo, is this something that do with me? Because Dub has been our family for years. Since, like I said, since '89. Dub and Rest in Peace Crazy Tunes, they've been family since '89. Mm-hmm. So he was like, does that have something to do with me? Because if it do, I need to know. But Meth had already left.
Yeah.
He said, I'll be back. And he just didn't come back. And that's when RZA said, let me speak on behalf and tell you why. And, so at least he was man enough to tell us it can't happen. And that's the true story. So, I don't know. Something just made me say, man, to even the score, gotta be somebody that's on Mess level or higher.
Yeah.
Rod's on the biggest level. He's higher than all of us.
Yeah.
Without lighting up a joint, he's higher. You know what I'm saying? I called him. He was like, yo, send it to me. Send it to me. I go in the lab and I can make it happen. That's Rod. Take it to the lab.
Yeah.
He always talked just as cool as he rap.
Yeah.
Man, he sent it back in maybe a day or two, maybe 3 days. We was like, woo.
Crazy.
Sent it to Dub because he had gone back to California, and we were just so happy, man. We was like, winner. And that's how it happened.
So the first day I walked into Mark's office, the first file I was given was DJ Premier producing Rakim. I was blown.
What 18th letter?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I never got my plaque. I got Universal. I need my plaque. Because I went to my mastering engineer Tony Darcy, who masters all of our records to this very day. I went to his house and I was like, "You got an 18th letter plaque?" He said, "Yeah, they sent me one." I'm like, "Well, I never got one."
Yeah.
I need my 18th letter plaque, y'all.
Yeah.
And, I'm gonna reach out to the label. I need my plaque.
Yeah. So
Ludacris, I need my plaque. Theater of the Mind. Shaka, Luda, I need my plaque. Kanye already approved my plaque for graduation, so we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love getting those plaques, man, and hanging them up. It's always beautiful to look at those things, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 20 years later, where does Moment of Truth stand for you in the Gang Starr catalog now?
It will always be the most important album. It's not my favorite out of all the 7 albums. It's the most important. Because, again, we went through a lot of death. We went through me leaving and then coming back, which is a big thing because we didn't announce it to nobody, to anyone. We weren't like, hey, we split up or anything. And we never disbanded to this very day, even when people thought because we haven't worked together during the time that he moved on and we didn't get together and then he passed. We never disbanded. We're still under contract. So, everything's still together.
Yeah.
Which is why I make sure the estate is good.
Yeah.
We do the right thing with the Premier was here website.
Yeah.
Gotta have his family involved on Guru's behalf and on behalf of his son because he's too young. He's 17 going on 18. And, we're doing it for him as well. So, he's in good schools. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, you can trust us. There's no hidden agenda.
Yeah.
Everything's just running good. And the merchandise, which we will be releasing the bundle March 30th with all the Moment of Truth 20-year anniversary bundle pack. Mm-hmm. We have 3 different types of hats. One is just says Gang Starr Moment of Truth with those 4 symbols. Mm-hmm. Like on the album cover. Then we have one with just the symbols, the 4 symbols, and then we have one with just Moment of Truth, but it's in the same font as the album.
Yeah.
So those hoodies, shirts, just a nice array of things that'll go live March 30th.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was listening to it again yesterday, and the thought I had is that it still sounds fresh, right?
No question.
It's still the test of time. It doesn't sound dated at all. So
we don't make dated material. We make stuff that sounds good anytime. It puts you where you remember where you were.
Yeah.
That's how I do it with everything I work on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 50 Cent said that one day. He was like, yo, if you don't say the year and it's banging, people might think you just made that yesterday.
Yeah.
And, you know, so shout to Fifth on that, you know.
Well, congratulations on Prime 2, on Tour
Thanks a lot.
Wolf, on
Thanks.
everything you've been doing.
Yeah, more coming, man. Shout to Royce.
Yeah.
Be on the lookout for NYG's, which has been a long awaited album. I'm finally gonna drop that, and then I have a lot of other surprises that I will not speak on yet.
Okay.
And I shout to Evidence. I have a record on his album that's out right now. Whether or not we're always on every album, and they blessed us. Him and Rocker from Dilated Peoples blessed Tory on a remix. Shout to Rapsy for blessing Tory. Macklemore for blessing Tory. Aberdeen on his new album, The Widow's Son, which is out now, and feel like I said a few other things coming down the pipeline. I just talked to Redman because you know, I said, dude, I want to get on that muddy water. He's like, man, it's every time you don't ever come through. I'm like, man, no one can ever find you. Every time I call, your number is different, or you just don't pick up. It goes straight to the messages full. It don't even ring, but we hashed it out a couple of days ago. But, you know, Muddy Waters was my favorite Redman album anyway. And we toured together. I mean, I toured with Craig Mack, God bless him. Yeah. You know, with EPMD. So, you know, I knew Craig Mack when he was a roadie. And wasn't even didn't have, you know, he had MC Easy and Troop out back when he was on Fresh Records, but as far as before he signed to Bad Boy, he was just a roadie for EPMD.
You got any stories about Craig you want to share?
Just seeing him and Redman after every show. It was us, DJ Quick, Chubb Rock, Polk was on the turntables, which he later on became track masters with Tone, and you know, they millionaired up, you know what I'm saying? So this is way before then. This is when he was just Chubb Rock's DJ. So us, DJ Quick, Father MC. That's when Mary J. Blige wasn't out with her record yet. She was just singing the backgrounds to "I'll Do for You" and all of that. And Gang Starr. You know, we opened up early in the tour, but EPMD actually invited us to do that tour. So it was just me, Dap, Gordon, and Guru just driving in my minivan. I had a Mazda MPV with the dope sound system, and we used to roll and follow the tour buses because we couldn't afford to get a bus yet. But just to be on that tour and drive state to state to open up for a tour like that was one of the best memories ever. And we just learned so much, man. But every night when we used to go to our hotel, we used to, EPMD had it where all the entire tour were on one floor so that there just would never be no issue. We all looked out for each other. Yeah. And I remember every hotel, it seemed like the whole town would be in the lobby, like waiting for us, you know, and just a battle. Yo, we want to battle EPMD. And they were the headliners. And they were like, yo, we don't battle, man. Battle them. It'd be Redman and Craig Mack. And I swear to God, Craig Mack said, no rap, no crap. You bore me. You want to grab my dick, too lazy. Hold it for me. And they would go, oh! He's been having that rhyme since then. Yeah. And so when he did it on the Flavor in Your remix, I was like, yeah, you finally got to get it out to the world. You know what I'm saying? Because that was a dope line. You know what I'm saying? But, him and Redman would destroy cats in the lobby. I'm talking about pack. Like if shit's gonna go down, like drama. Yeah. Never no drama. Just those people from that town wanted to rap and show what their skills were. Yeah. And we were so cool about it. And we were all there. Yeah. Yeah.
That's incredible. Well, rest in peace to Craig Mack. Yeah. Rest in peace to Guru.
No question.
Thank you, Premier.
Absolutely, Reggie.
My man.
My brother. Salute.